All right, we are live today with Bits of Wealth. We will be doing our market review. Happy Monday, everybody, and thank you for joining. I just want to make sure that I throw it out there that anything that we do go over today, it's not financial advice. Um, it's just for really educational purposes. So really excited to kind of dive into the markets because a lot has happened over the weekend, and we are really happy to be here and we'll be talking about it. I mean, everything that we've been kind of talking about for well over a year now, right? We've been like, for those of you who've been with me and with Bits of Wealth for, multiple cycles, you guys already know our opinion on historical data and where the market was headed. We've been kind of talking about it for a while. And so far, no surprises. Markets are doing exactly what we kind of anticipated that this year was going to bring to the table. So if you were short or if you got out of the market at the all-time highs, congratulations to you for that. Most of us were out of the market. Fortunately, right, we did sell and got out of the markets in October, the first week of October, and that was a pretty awesome decision because we stuck with the historical data. There was no what if it's different this time kind of emotions involved. It was just pure execution. So definitely give yourself a pat on the back for doing that. People in my community, I know Alpha Seedlings, you guys also were able to get out. Most of you were able to get out and catch the top. And so that was pretty incredible. Bits, how are you doing today?
Doing good. I'm ready to look at some charts. Although I don't know that the market's ready to serve us up anything just quite yet, anything interesting. But yeah, no, look, it's a new week. There's a
Mhm.
new opportunity every single week. We
Mhm.
just we got to go in here with an open mind and let's see if we can find something. Yeah, it'd be cool if we could find some short term trades. I'm definitely feeling the the desire to do a couple little scalps or something this week,
Mhm.
especially
Mhm.
after a massive move like what we saw last week. There could be
Mhm.
some range trades, there could be some bounce trades, there could be some new short trades. Yeah,
Mhm.
let's see what happens here. But that was a massive move. I mean, that was
It was
yeah,
incredible.
and it was fast.
And
It was aggressive.
yes, yes, absolutely. So yeah, Bits, take it away. I see you have your charts up. I'm gonna go and start
I
sending
do.
invitations in different communities.
Okay, cool. So let me jump over to my trading view. Um, all right, cool. So main thing I'm looking at here is we're at previous year low pretty much. We haven't really moved below that yet. It got really close. I am sure that there is here. Let's actually look really quickly because I'm almost convinced that there has to be maybe like the Coinbase chart or something like that. I don't know. Let's see. BTC USD on Coinbase. Let's see. Did this one move down below? That one went 74.5 also. Um, yeah, there might be like maybe an exchange that you can find where it actually wicked below this. Maybe there isn't yet. But sometimes you get those differences where Binance is a little bit higher, a little bit lower than Coinbase. But anyways, the point I'm trying to make is we're at a very big level once again. And we got here really quickly. Didn't didn't give a whole lot of opportunity to get short on the break of that range to the downside if you weren't paying attention. A lot of
Mhm.
times what you'll see on moves like this is, it'll break down and then it'll kind of chop and then you end up getting that like rejection like that. Didn't really do it. I mean, if you were on the lower time frames, you did get a small move back up here. Um when was this? Friday, Saturday. You kind of had an opportunity there. But it was just it was off of like very fast moves here. So I still think that there could be, potentially depending on what happens here, there could be a move up there. That's going to be a big area for us to look for maybe some short opportunities here coming back up into like 85, 86, depending on how the market's moving. And then also any moves to the bottom. I still think there's a lot of people that are kind of jumping the gun here and maybe they'll get lucky. Maybe they'll be right. The bottom is, in or whatever here. But yeah, to me, this is right here. It's a big level. It's definitely a big horizontal zone to be paying attention to. But I'm not seeing anything here that's like screaming, hey, the bottom's in. At least not for me, not just yet. Maybe on the lower time frames, there's something there. But here on like a daily or a weekly, this stuff still could spend a little more time here before it's quite ready to go higher. So again, like a easy invalidation for this is just bring in some big volume, make some big moves, start shifting the structure, and then maybe there's a different conversation to be had. I'd say like on the 1 hour, even this move this morning for everyone who caught generational entries down here at 74, 75, even this move this morning, all you really did was you set a lower low, right? So you have now a lower low here. You've got a high that you can now reference to try and get above. And currently price is failing to get above that. So I would say like really until you get a convincing move above this that kind of flips that structure, there is still risk that this could still move down, whether that's to make a higher low and then you get the push up, or this could still come down and take those lows out again. There's really nothing here that's screaming, hey, this thing is ready to go higher. Not yet. So let's watch. I mean, we're above some of these moving averages on the 1 hour. You do have a big 1 week rolling VWAP slightly overhead at about 81, 82-ish. Your big monthly rolling VWAP is up at 88. This move down definitely left a gap in terms of, if you're looking at like CME futures. So, there'll be some levels there and some price action to watch. I think the key here is just going to be just kind of being patient. Be patient. Wait for structure to be clear and to shift. You're not really going to lose anything if you wait for a confirmation. Currently, you really want to see a move above like 79.5, pretty much. You want to see a nice big push on a 1 hour above 79.5, then maybe come down, flip it, something like that, and then you can say, okay, now there's a likely move up here to, back into the 80s. But until then, I think right now patience is what's going to be the most rewarding. Let's wait. Let's see what happens here. Total crypto took a heck of a beating. This is a chart that I've talked about almost daily for the last like 3-4 weeks. We were looking at this trend diagonal. I'm sure you remember this one, Lady Trader. Just multiple touches.
Oh yeah.
Lost it. A lot of wicks up here, and then it was kind of hanging out. It was hanging out. And there was an opportunity that it could have done something like that. And it just didn't happen. Instead, what we got is we got the rejection away from that, and it moved. And you do have a big level, that you're kind of approaching down here. So far, this is, it's moving the way you would expect it to move if it wasn't going to get back above that. So stablecoin dominance also had a big move, went right into my upper target I have on this channel. And basically put in a nice little high there with a rejection. So still just watching stablecoin dominance here. At this point, it's hard to argue with stablecoin dominance not being in an uptrending structure. I mean, now you've got not only do you have higher lows, now you've also got very clear higher high trending structure, and even this here, right? Like you're clearly moving up. So stablecoin dominance is definitely on the move higher. You're getting into some levels here with stablecoin dominance that we had not seen since back in late 2023. So essentially, stablecoin dominance is near pre bull run levels, right? Back almost to bear market lows, back to some of those levels. Not quite, but it's approaching that. And we'll have to keep an eye on this as well, because if this keeps moving the way we've basically been watching it and thinking that it could move, there's an opportunity that this thing comes up here and just consolidates, and then it just rips to the upside, and that's going to be the worst case scenario for anyone that's still mega bullish on crypto, thinking that it has to go higher. If this thing does something like that, I mean, it's absolutely bear market. So but yeah, I think you've got a lot of clear signs, a lot of interesting charts here if you zoom out. But in the short term, if you're a trader and you need to take some trades every single week or every single day to put a little bit of money in your pocket, or just to keep yourself busy, then I think you zoom in, you trade the chart, You look for clear ranges, you look for market structure shifts, and you play them just with the expectation that you're not trying to get into forever longs, you're not trying to get into generational entries, because I mean, I think it's a bit silly at this point. You're
Mhm.
seeing a lot of big KOL accounts that are still kind of using that like FOMO psychology of, if you don't buy now, you're gonna miss out on the next move to $1 million. Like, yeah, just relax, guys. I mean, those guys have been wrong for months now, probably for over a year now, and they're gonna keep doing what they're doing. But we got to watch these charts. I'm just a chart guy, so I just watch these charts, draw some lines, and look for some trades to take. And every day is a new day, and we just look at the chart for the day, and we take the trade that's in front of us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's the thing that we do have to, when we are coming back every single day looking at the charts, we are doing that with an open mind. So that is, super important, and just kind of following what the charts tell us. But what you said, Bits, this is important because a lot of times KOLs, and really, I'm gonna have to call out people here. I'm not gonna name, but some of you should really be super ashamed of yourself for what you've done. You've been telling your communities to buy the dip, buy the dip. We are going so much higher. We are doing this, we are doing that. You had absolutely no clue what you were actually trying to do here to the communities. You have hurt communities. You've hurt your own community. You've destroyed your reputation. You have destroyed the volume that you would otherwise have as a KOL by telling people to keep buying the dips when markets keep tanking. And there are people who are more knowledgeable than you who are trying to put the information out there, trying to show you the data, and you're just, you're really mean and awful to them. It just makes no sense. So really, I mean, shame on you if you've done these kind of things to your communities where you've hurt them. You can't be just living off of hopium and copium every single day, where you just show up and say, "We are going to the moon, guys. Buy the dips." What the heck? Does the monthly chart not tell you what's about to happen? I mean, open up Solana chart on weekly, on daily time frame. There is a clear head and shoulders pattern. If Bitcoin is too confusing for you, start looking at some of the altcoins, and they should tell you a really, really clear story of where we are headed. So why would you do that when the markets, if you know the basics of trading, which I'm sure most of you do know, most of you KOLs do know very basic chart reading, right? The ABCs, and you can see the clear pattern, clear top, you know, very, very clear top. It's telling you what's about to happen. You have a yearly close that's bearish. Why the heck would you tell your communities to buy the dip? Why? Why would you do that? It makes absolutely no sense. It's insane. It's insane. You're rugging your community. You're destroying your reputation, and you are taking every bit of volume away from your own self. What are you going to do? Like, for you to be a KOL, you should be able to talk about a project, and that creates trust with your community, and the community goes and gets excited about the project and becomes part of that community, right? Because of your reputation, because of that trust. And then it brings volume to that project. It brings, ecosystem partners to that project. That's basically your role as a KOL, is be a good advisor, be a good thought leader for the project, and be a good thought leader for your community. But you're destroying your reputation, the trust that you should be building with your community, for some cheap dollars, because you want to continue to get, more deals, more meme coin deals, more percentages that then you're going to go and dump on your communities anyway. What the heck? Like, think of the long game here. If you want to be a good thought leader, good KOL, you want to have a solid volume that you should be able to drive. You should have a solid reputation that you build. And that starts with protecting your community. That starts with saying no to a whole bunch of trash coins that reach out to you and want to partner with you, and they want you to shield those trash coins to your communities. And then you should be able to still filter out some of the good ones, but you will have to say no to a lot of trash coins. And that also begins with truly educating your community on what's happening in the markets, what's happening with the charts. You just can't tell people to buy the dips, buy the dips. Like, what the heck? You're looking like a complete fool. Like, don't do that to yourself. We all want to see green markets. I love green markets too, but charts are telling you where it's headed. The data is very clear. So yeah, sorry, like I went on this rant. I've been spending too much time with Bits of Wealth, and I'm usually a very nice person. I don't- but it's like it's getting very
Don't
frustrating.
blame me. Don't blame me for your ranting.
It's frustrating.
I
Miro has
know.
been super honest. You're gonna name the name. I mean, man,
I
there are
know.
so many people like that. It's insane.
And
Like
I
these
think
people have
like
no business being up there.
yeah, I think one thing that's important is like we have to, as people in like the crypto community, right, in this like trading CT crypto blockchain community. I think we just have to raise standards in terms of like the accounts that we give attention to and that we follow, and also just be better at unfollowing accounts that are just dishonest. Because here's the biggest thing is like it's okay to make mistakes, right? Like
Mhm,
there's people that are traders or even KOLs that are going to have a take, they're going to have a thesis, an opinion, and it might be wrong, and that's okay.
mhm.
That's okay.
Yes,
Like it might
absolutely.
be wrong because we're all learning, we're all figuring this stuff out. But
Yes.
like the things that get to me is once you have these people that are just unwilling to admit when they were wrong, unwilling to own it,
Mhm,
um, they start doing weird stuff like deleting posts where
mhm,
they were wrong. Like they're trying to protect this image of being, these crystal ball, like perfection traders and callers, but it's that's where you have to be careful because that to me says everything you need to know about that person, that they're not really leading with ethics, with
mhm,
honesty, with all of that. Like just own
mhm,
it. We're all human. We're all gonna get into bias at times. We're all gonna miss things. We're all going to take bad trades or make bad calls. It just happens. It's just happened. It's part of the game. Like this is just
mhm,
part of being in the market and doing what we do, which is we're speculating in the market. We're all speculators, right? That's what you're doing
mhm,
here in the market. Unless you have insider information, like this is the one time you're not speculating. If you have insider information and you're somehow tied to decisions that are going to affect the market or a stock or something like that, yeah, that's called insider trading, ladies and gentlemen. Like, so unless you're doing insider trading, you're basically speculating, right? We're guessing, we're using information that we have, and we're just guessing. We're thinking like, I think there's a good probability that this can happen. And so it's okay to be wrong. It's okay that our guesses, our speculations don't pass exactly as we think, or sometimes they're just completely wrong. But it's the deleting, it's the lying, it's the leading on, it's the blocking people when they call you out, it's the failure to accept when you were wrong. Those are the things I think we have to start calling out. We got to hold people a little bit more accountable to that. And then a lot of these guys, they actually don't care if you call
mhm,
them out because they're after the clicks, they're after the engagement, they're after, so if we sit there and we leave a bunch of comments applauding them because of how right they are, or we sit there and we leave a
mhm.
bunch of comments, you know um hating on them because of how wrong they were, to them it's comments, to them it's clicks, to them it's
Exactly. It's
views, to them it
engagement.
doesn't matter, it's engagement. The best thing you can do is when you see unethical stuff is don't sit there giving them more engagement. Just move along, unfollow,
Mhm,
ignore them, don't ever give them your time and attention anymore. That's the way you stop supporting those people.
mhm. No, absolutely. I agree with you there. Miro, you've had some awesome comments today. Yeah, you're basically getting there, right? There are so many people like that that are just after the clicks, after the engagement, and they'll do anything. It doesn't matter. Um, so yeah, it's just silly. I want to go ahead and also bring up my charts here as well. Bits, do you have anything else that you want to cover before I do that? I see you have your Solana chart up now.
Yeah, no, look, the only thing I was going to say about, so I brought it up because you were saying how awful it looked, right? And it
Hmm.
does. I mean, you zoom out, this thing does look terrible. And I have it in linear on purpose because people like to look at log, and log sometimes is a little more forgiving. You're like, oh, look, it's still way up, and it is still way up. But I like to Solana is like the one chart that I like to leave in linear just because it makes it look worse on purpose. So, look, you're near prior year low. So this was a 2025 low. Just below that is the low of 2024 back here. That's right. So this is 2024 low. It's like, does this thing necessarily need to go straight down here to $20? No, it doesn't have to do that in a straight line. It's a big drop if it loses some of these levels, and there's really not a whole lot. But you could be in a position where this thing maybe takes this and then goes up and then comes down, takes the 24 and then tries to come back up. And then, it could look like that. Really, I would say just start paying attention to a lot of these alt charts or crypto charts in general. The main level to be watching for is you want to be looking for the previous year low. Look for charts that are near 2025 lows. Because if you're going to get a reaction, if you're going to get something tradable, if you're going to get a bounce or something like that in the short term we can trade, I'd expect it to be around here, previous year low. Those are big levels, even like with BTC, right? You go to Bitcoin, this is a big level. You go to a quarterly chart on Bitcoin, you go to a 6-month, 12-month chart. This is a huge level. This is a huge level for BTC that we're at right now, slightly above it. If you're going to get a bullish, week, maybe just a couple days, but if you're going to get a bullish week, bullish 2 weeks, it would make sense that it's maybe at or near one of these levels. And whether it needs to take that level and then slowly come up, whether it consolidates, right above the level and then just does a quick fake out below it after it's consolidated. Like, there's a lot of ways this can play out, but go out and look for these key levels. Previous year low is a big one. Any kind of big monthly swing. If you go to monthly chart, look for areas where there's a big monthly swing on some of these charts. Go to the 3-month chart as well. Those are big levels that you're coming up to. So here, for example, big area. But yeah, just go through all of these. I think what was the other one I was looking at? Let's see if it was Ethereum. Yeah, ETH still has more room to go. I can't remember which one it was that I was looking at that was also approaching, like, on a monthly chart, a big level. Litecoin's at a big level. You've got a lot of support down here on a high time frame for Litecoin, down here at $50, $60. XRP was another one. I think that you were basically like at the last line of defense. If XRP, yeah, this is an ugly one. If XRP can't find a bounce here, this is that's your April low. Yeah, so this is your 2025 low right here from April. So this one is at right now previous year low. And this is one of those that if it can't find a bounce here, I mean, you tell me where XRP is going with a gap like this, with an inefficiency like that. I mean, where's this thing going? It's going probably down here, 85 cents to $1 for sure. And then, if it gets some speed, maybe it goes down 60 cents, under 60 cents. It's going to be crazy. But this is that last line of defense, man. If XRP can't defend this and try and push up from here, the only other way is down. So crazy stuff.
This is really crazy stuff. I'm looking at Bitcoin chart as well, bits on M15 right now. It seems like maybe getting ready for a move here. Of course, we are above 50 EMA, so it makes it a little bit risky. But it seems like we are rejecting the monthly open. We are rejecting 200 EMA on M15. So, and then of course we have a nice little double bottom that we saw, which is like the classic fake pattern that we've seen so many times and that we've called out so many times. So maybe we are ready to move over. The only concern I have is a big CME gap, which again, CME gaps, what I've seen pretty much entire crypto Twitter doing today was everybody's talking about CME gaps and, how it's supposed to fill. And so it's going to fly and, and it might, right? Sometimes those gaps do get filled, sometimes they don't. It's not always going to be the case. Very high probability that they do get filled. I'm not going to say it's only like a less probability. More often than not they do get filled, but when everybody is bullish and everybody's trying to trade that gap, it's kind of make you nervous to go long here. So I feel like we could roll over here anytime.
Yeah, and it did come up and it just basically dipped into these highs here. It didn't take out any of these highs, but it just kind of went up,
Mm-hmm.
grabbed a little bit of liquidity, and does look like it's rolling.
Mm-hmm.
You could be forming here, I'll clean up some of this stuff, but I was just checking really quickly if there was any VWAP areas down there. You could be forming like a multi-session W type of thing down here, but it's a bit early to kind of call that one. You could be doing something like that. That's maybe still needs to come down. Could be still
Mm-hmm.
slightly below that. Could be up here somewhere, but it might need to pull back and then it goes.
Mm-hmm.
You could be doing something like that. You could also, like, some people are probably going to call this, right, like an inverse head and shoulder type deal. Like maybe you get something like that, that does something like that. A lot of different ways, but again, without putting in higher highs here, you could
Mm-hmm.
also just be getting a move lower still.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this one is looking like a short opportunity to me here.
Yeah.
If the gap was filled, I would be definitely shorting here. Like if you could see it's below some of the EMAs, I would probably wait for it to hit that 50 EMA and then maybe reject that and find a support here. And then if it crashes below that 50, I think it's going to be done. The way it looks like to me right now, I'm going to bring up my chart as well, unless you have anything else, Bits, that you want to add to that.
No, go for it. Where's the 50? I'm looking at the 50. Is that up here, this yellow one?
50 is 78K. It's exactly at 78.
Why do I
Let
not
me
have the 50 showing up? Hold on here. The 50 is EMA 3. And EMA 3 is which one? Okay. Oh, but what on the 15, on the M15?
Yes, M15.
Yeah, my EMA 3 is at, you're right, 78, slightly below us. I gotcha. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So let me go ahead and bring up my screen here. BTC USD, is that the one? Yes. Okay, and I'm going to move us below so you guys can see the charts better. There we go. Okay, so here's what I'm seeing, right? We have the monthly open, which was right here. And we have now monthly open has been rejected, right? So we are below monthly open. We are below 200 EMA, which is now, and it's a confirmed entry, right? So you could, if there wasn't this 50 EMA, like literally your first take profit would be this one if you were to go short. So not really huge risk to reward, but this is another level, daily and weekly open, which hasn't been retested either after the price crashed above, which means most likely they're not. You've seen me say that so many times, and you guys can probably by now tell, and this is why I keep bringing it up, so that it's in your brain. When you look at it, you can easily spot when there is a fake pattern, or take your profit if you're already in profit and kind of secure your bags, right? But you've seen me say that so many times, and every time I say it, it does happen. So we are at daily and weekly open right here at 76.8. That has not been retested on M15 after the price closed above it. So at some point, this is going to come back and retest this area. So let's see if that happens. I also want to go up a little bit and talk about like this area here. So we had a range for FOMC, which I did say that most of the time, not always, usually price would retest both of those areas. What happened instead, though, was only the FOMC candle was retested, and I think it was this candle here, right here. I believe this was the FOMC candle. So it was just this candle that was retested on both ends, which also happens. Like the first candle always gets retested on both ends, like most of the time, not always, but most of the time. So we saw this one. I was really hoping that we could still get above and also break this range. That did not happen. We were able to catch a move last Friday. Let's see, where was it? I need to go back to that one. It was this one, right? So we basically did catch this move. We were going long here, most of us did, and our stop losses were here. and our take profit, the first take profit was 200 EMA, but it did kind of give you one to one, right? A little bit over 1-to-1 risk to reward. So when I started seeing this happen, and I did post an update on my page as well on when I got out, and like I didn't get out fully, but I did secure most of my profits. There was a moon bag instead. But what I didn't like about this is whenever you see a big move like this and the price starts to chop, because this kind of move would normally just continue to the upside. It would do something like this and then move up. But if it continues to chop and doesn't look very good, you have to get out. And because then it means it's probably going to go and hit the stop losses of everybody who went long here. So I did post an update and told you when I got out, right? And so you guys already know what happened with that trade. There were some people in the community who shorted it. Some people shorted it here. That was a perfect one. Cypher, I think you were the one who shorted it here. Some people took this trade as well and caught the entire move to the downside. Shane has been an absolute legend. He's been holding his short since 98K. I think he did catch it during one of our live streams, and then he held it through and through, and he exited it, I think, around 76K. So that was a beautiful, beautiful hold. So a big congratulations to everybody who caught these moves. These were some incredible moves in the markets. But you have to be very careful. Like for me to go short here, I would have definitely taken a short if the pattern was off of this 200 EMA. We were too close, but not quite there yet. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to stay out. And that's okay. Like there's no FOMO. I'm always going to find a trade. There's always a trade. So I'll come back, find something the next day or the day after. Like I'm very patient, and really I'm here mostly to educate right now at this point. Usually I don't, I'm just busy during the bear market building, but I do take a lot of time off as well. So I'm just here trying to educate and make sure that you guys understand these markets and are able to benefit from it. But really right now what I'm looking at is price to possibly move back to this area, maybe even get a reversal off of it, find support, or maybe just crash through. But this area needs to be retested, and then we'll see if it gets held or not. My concern, though, is this W right here. This is a double bottom, but this is like a very clear double bottom. When you see something like this, a lot of times they are not held very nicely. So price goes below them. So we'll see how it works out. And then, of course, the entire crypto Twitter is screaming there's a CME gap to the upside, which needs to be filled. And maybe it will. But when so many people are expecting something, then markets are going to go in the other direction. So I also want to go back on the higher time frame, because that's where all the action is happening. Man, this is incredible. So we have a very clear top here. And then price, of course, this was a January close. When you have a close like this, usually, I mean, at this point, it would be very difficult for price to get up to the 200K. Like we are not going in six figures, most likely. Can it do that? Yes, absolutely. Markets can do whatever markets want to do. But the probability of that happening are now going to be extremely reduced. Maybe we could get up to this 88K, maybe a little bit higher even. We don't know. Or it could just roll over right here. This is an area of interest for me that I'm watching. I am not convinced that this is going to hold, because even if there is a short-term move here, it's just not going to be sustainable, because it clearly did not grab the liquidity below this. So it was almost like fooling people into buying support. And you don't want to buy support when you're at the neck of a clear head and shoulder pattern, which is what the markets are showing you. Even if it's not super clear to you on a Bitcoin chart, it is a very, very clear, like this is a clear topping pattern. This one, for example, is something to consider, right? So when you go long here, this is not sustainable. It's going to go up slightly and then it's going to get crushed, right? Same with some of these other areas like this one. So this is like pretty much like a topping pattern. So you don't want to go long on a big topping pattern here. So just be mindful of that. This is a dangerous pattern. Can it find some support here? Sure, it can. Maybe short term. Maybe we could go up to this 800 EMA on daily and then, continue to roll over. That's a possibility. If it does do that, I'll be looking for a short opportunity. This would be very similar to our Solana trade, which I want to bring up as well. If you guys remember, we had a very similar price action on Solana. Solana crashed through 800 EMA, then it stayed under that 800 EMA for a long time. And then we were anticipating a move like this, right? We drew it live on our show. and it actually exactly played out the same way. So if you look at it, right, we drew it before the whole move happened, and then of course this happened, right? So it was slowly moving up, and now we are to the point where Solana has completed that move exactly how we drew it. And so look at it. This is also funny. Like it found support at the line where I where my line ended. It actually found support here slightly. So but yeah, it could do something like this, right? So we are now below this on Bitcoin. So maybe it will chop here, maybe go up a little bit, retest and fail, and then continue the journey south. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on it. But I want to bring up something because I know Bitcoin chart is still, for some reason, a lot of people are still bullish, and long term, yes, it makes sense. But look at this. Like, does this look bullish to you at all? This is not bullish. Like it's a very, very bearish chart here, right? You have a very clear head and shoulders pattern. You have a multi-year double top right here, right? This is your first leg right here. This is your second leg, which happens to be a head and shoulders pattern, and it's a weekly chart. So this is not like M15 or H4 or H1 or anything like this. This is a very high time frame, and this is not bullish. So I'm not sure why you would tell your communities to buy the dips here. Like, what exactly are you trying to accomplish? Because you definitely don't have enough Solana to where your community will be pumping your bags up, right? That's not the case. So are you just turning them into exit liquidity for exchanges? And what exactly are you doing here? Like, just be cautious, people. Don't just listen to people who are telling you to buy the dips here. It makes no sense when you're seeing something like this. This is a very clear pattern. Can it go up a little bit slightly? Yes, maybe. And then it's going to continue to crash. And this is very dangerous. It has some pretty awesome levels coming up, though, that I'm watching. So there's going to be some generational entries. This one was certainly not. This is certainly not a generational entry, but you're going to be getting those entries right here. So you have this level here, which is pretty incredible. That I will definitely be watching. You have a level here, right here, maybe a minor level. You have a minor level here. So you have some pretty awesome levels coming up where you're going to get some bounces, or could potentially get some bounces. But look at this one. I mean, this is really a good level here, right? And then you have, of course, the level down below, which, it may not get that low. We don't know yet. But these are the levels that I'm waiting for, right? That's when you could, obviously, I'm not going to tell my community to buy the dip even then, because that would be financial advice. But these are the levels where I will be buying dips, right? Not here. This is a minor level. Not here. Maybe here, depending on where we are, right? If it's October already, and we are here, maybe I'll buy, like, put some foot soldiers in, right? Or half of my army in, maybe, or quarter of my army position in, and then wait and see what happens. So that's really going to be my play here. And this is very clear. I mean, it's telling you it's probably one of the ugliest looking charts right now. Really ugly to me. And so everybody needs to be cautious here. This is a very clear pattern. This is like it's about to basically fall off a cliff here. So that's one. And then Ethereum. So Ethereum is also doing something like this, right? So this is let me go and bring up maybe another one. It has too many lines up there for you to. There we go. So, well, this one has a very similar pattern as well. And this is bad. Like, it's not going to find support here. There is no reason for it to. Maybe short term, maybe do a retest of this 2637 or something like this. Maybe push it up to 29, maybe, if we are very lucky. But this is bad. And this is basically the neck of that M, right? So this is probably not going to be held long term either. Of course, it is a nice support level, so maybe a short-term bounce off of this, but this is bad. This chart is definitely, like, I'm expecting Ethereum to definitely hit these lows, if not lower. So we'll be watching these levels here. We'll be watching this level, and remember, this is something that I was saying even in 2022. For those of you who've been with me for since 2020, which a lot of you are, I did say that in 2022 we made a low here in June, but price did not do another low in November. So that makes it super risky. Ethereum, I did say, was a risky trade going into the bull market. I said, I don't know how far we are going to get on Ethereum. And that's exactly how it worked out. It hardly went above these, right? These levels. And this also shows you something. Solana did the same thing, right? Solana didn't, it barely went above that 2021 high. And Ethereum did the same thing. It means that these are really topping out. Now combine that with Bitcoin yearly candle close, ugly, very ugly. So that tells you that most likely these are going to be retesting these levels, most likely 2022 levels, because they retested the 2021 and rejected. So now the time for it to retest the 2021 or 2022 lows, and maybe if we are lucky, we find support here, right? And so and hopefully we do, right? We'll be seeing how it works out. If we are already there in the summertime, I'll be cautious, because my timeline is still October, but I'm going to be cautious with that one as well because of the way yearly candle closed. A lot of people are saying 4-year cycles are dead. Don't try and manifest something that you're not ready for, because when you say now going into the bear market 4-year cycles are dead, that means you're not getting a bottom this year, and you probably don't want that. So be mindful of the words that you are using. It can get ugly very quickly, right? So you want the 4-year cycle to continue to play out so that you can find that bottom this year, hopefully. So we'll see how it plays out as we get there, as we get close. But yeah, Ethereum, Solana, telling you a story, they are about to fall off a cliff. Okay, so I'll be cautious here. I'm not going to be listening to anybody who tells me to buy the dips here. Just not. If for some reason it does, it's like, what if we create a new all-time high? Like somebody I had a conversation with yesterday. They're good. They're great people. They're good people. They don't know me for too long, right? We've met recently, but this person was like, Ra, but if you are stable, you're all stabled up. What happens if Bitcoin creates a new all-time high, right? So are you gonna regret it? Are you just gonna buy it? It's like, no, of course not. Like, I got a beautiful exit. So let's say if we create a new all-time high, then what happens is, like, my exits were 118 to 125. Those were my exits. So I'm good. I'm good to go. So now if you tell me, what if price creates a new all-time high? Are you saying it's just gonna go up in a straight shot? Absolutely not. If we do create a new all-time high, sure, do it. The price is going to come back and retest the key levels again. So more than likely, I'll be able to find another entry close to where I exited, or maybe even lower, right? So that can be the game plan. It's not going to happen, but if it does happen, then I have a plan on what I'll be doing. That would be just a nice confirmation that, okay, now the cycles have changed. 4-year cycles are over. We are now creating new all-time high. So maybe we'll just buy the dips there at that point, right? So I'll let the price fly. I'm not going to just go and buy because we are approaching all-time high. I'd be like, all right, let's create a new all-time high, go as far as you can, and then when you come back down to retest that, then I can probably buy, right? So there are always trades to take. You can't FOMO in. You can't be like, what if I lose the move? What if I don't? What if I miss the move? What if I don't get in time? There's always a trade that you can catch. You're not going to miss out on it. And so those are key factors to kind of consider. And as you grow in the markets, and you've been in the markets for so long, you're going to be so patient. Sometimes you just don't want to take a trade, because just for the sake of it, like, I don't want to take a trade, even though it's clear I'm good, I'm fine today, I'm not going to take a trade, and that's fine, right? So but let's see how this one plays out here today. Daily, weekly, the beginning of the week is often like a fake move, so be mindful of that as well. But it's not looking super bullish to me. Maybe we can get another move to the upside and fill this gap, and then things are going to get ugly. But it's definitely not holding this level. Like, I don't see it holding it long term. And so, yeah, that's really what I wanted to say. Bits, anything that you want to add to that?
No, I think right now, again, like, I think it pays to be patient. I think it really pays to be patient, to zoom out, start building your analysis from the top down instead of
Yes.
the bottom to the top, right? Do top to bottom, and
Mhm.
just be willing to wait for confirmations, whether it's, you're using an EMA system, a fib system, you're using purely price action and candle structure. You really just got to lean into that. Um,
Mhm.
I was just looking at here, and let me pull my screen back up, because I was just looking at I would also say, like, right now, it probably pays to look at your alts against BTC as well. Because if we're gonna get any kind of alt season, you probably want to be looking at that. Someone asked for BNB. Let's look at BNB real quick, and then I'll show you guys what I was looking at. But I mean, this is BNB on the high time frame. Other than other than like maybe giving you some of these levels to the downside that it could maybe come down to, um, there's maybe some short term trades there. I'd be watching maybe this type of structure here in the short term.
Mhm.
Like you're basically there if you're a short term trader. Like maybe you want to be looking for a reaction somewhere in here where we currently are, and that's actually where you're getting your little bounce from at the moment, right? You're like
Mhm.
at the bottom of this. You're at the bottom of this channel on BNB. You're looking for a bounce here. But again, it's like you really kind of want to wait for market structure to confirm that this bounce or this bottom is actually in here. This isn't looking too bad though. It came back to previous structure over here. It's kind of
Mhm.
holding around there, but again, like this like maybe this zone needs to be a bit wider. Actually, maybe this zone needs to actually look more like that. So you've got
Mhm.
some room here where this thing can chop around, consolidate a little bit. I think it was Modfather that was asking about BNB. So,
Mhm.
maybe there's a BNB trade here. I'd be cautious until you actually get some kind of confirmation. And then when you do, you're looking initially for a move just kind of up here as like a bullish scenario. Very likely that it kind of maybe even struggles kind of coming up into this range because that'll be the
Mhm.
bottom of this like channel you were in, right? So, even
Mhm.
if this got a bounce here, it could struggle there. Um, just wait for those higher time frame moves to play out overall.
Mhm.
I was looking at Solana over BTC. So this is a Sol BTC chart. This is
Mhm.
interesting, actually. Um, it is kind of putting in like trying to put in some kind of a floor here. It's got a little bit of like this monthly fair value gap here, like an unclaimed vector as well. This is a high volume move. So you got a little bit of
Mhm.
like a monthly unclaimed vector here that it could still chop down and take that out. Um, I think if it's bullish, it would make sense for it to maybe have that move down before
Mhm.
you get a move up. You also have the low right here. So this was previous year low, sitting slightly before price, still has not been taken out. So Sol BTC is an interesting chart. I got to spend a little bit more time kind of tearing this apart. But I think right now it might make sense to pull up ETH BTC, Sol BTC, XRP BTC, BNB BTC, a lot of those, and just compare and see what it is that it's
Mhm.
doing. That and just keep in mind the total charts are still showing just max wreckage. Even if total crypto gets a little bit of a pump, this is still
Mhm.
just confirming downtrending structure. This is your next big area that you kind of want to be watching here on total crypto market cap. And then,
Mhm.
if you end up going into like, total three or any of these other ones and you're looking for maybe some kind of divergence or some kind of reason to pay attention to alts or others or something like that. This one's holding up
Mhm.
pretty nice. I mean, others on the weeklies it's holding up down here. But again, it's because it's just everything's been so beat up that you already almost went to minus 99% on a lot of these. So
Mhm.
they're kind of just barely holding on. They're either going to zero or maybe they're somewhat close to bottom of the range, but timing is always a factor on these. They could stay there for a while. This can be
Mhm.
something that kind of hangs out down here for a long time, a lot more time than anyone would probably be comfortable holding some of these. And then you'll get those capitulation sells where people get sick and tired of holding these things at 90% drawdown and they say, screw it, I'm going to sell. And then that
Mhm.
selling takes place somewhere down here and eventually puts in some kind of bottom for alts and memes and all of that stuff. So we could be close to that. We'll have to
Mhm.
just play it, day at a time, week at a time, month at a time, and just wait for those confirmations. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, look, that's kind of my view. Is I'm just kind of waiting. I'm not really rushing into anything. A lot of the good moves that needed to be caught are already behind us, and I think right now we're waiting for more information. And the next the next best moves are still ahead of us. I don't know that they're here today or tonight. I think that the next best moves are coming up, and it's just a matter of like, let's wait, let those
Mm-hmm.
moves properly set up, and then
Mm-hmm.
we'll take them when it's time. Um,
But I'm gonna ask you a question. So this is like
uh,
the trade that we're seeing right now on M15. This is like a classic bits of wealth trade. Let me go over this, right? So we basically had this top here off
yeah.
of this level, right? Slight liquidity grab um, above this level at least.
Hmm.
And then of course also like a double top, right? So this is pretty awesome level. We had this move, then the price quickly moved away from this level, then
Yep.
retested, rejected. What would stop you from taking this short right now? Of course,
Uh,
besides the M1550, where it could
yeah.
definitely find a support. But this is like a clear short to me.
Yeah, here, let me show you. And I'm watching it. Trust me, I'm watching it. I do think that this could potentially go. I think you'd have to put your invalidation above this high at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely above this candle here. Like, I think if you're gonna take it, like if you're jumping in now, this probably goes at least behind this little retest candle here, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
maybe then you're targeting down here, somewhere down here. So I do think there's probably like a short-term trade here. The main reason I didn't really get super short up here is it didn't come up to the previous day high. So this was the Sunday high, and it's
Mm-hmm.
also the high of the current month, I think, right? So this was high of the month at this point, right? Because it was the first. It
Mm-hmm.
just seemed like it would have thrown a trap move up and then done something like that, and we didn't get it. But yeah, I think right now you could probably jump into one here in validation above there, and then there's a pretty good chance it's going to make its way at least down here to the weekly open. I mean, this seems like a
Mm-hmm.
pretty straightforward trade if that was the false move of the day to the upside. But yeah, you had
Mm-hmm.
a break. You're below EMAs. You're rejecting here. I
Mm-hmm.
might, I might throw a little foot soldier in here, with the also the clarity that a fake out above the high of the previous day would still be a beautiful entry short as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like fully take liquidity here. Um, but it's been doing a lot of these little front runs where it kind of leaves a little bit there. But yeah,
Yeah.
this isn't looking terrible. I might throw a little foot soldier in here, see if I can't get it down at least here to weekly open. There's a nice 1-day rolling VWAP there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then if you were to, if you were to go from the bottom to the top, you're 50%. Yeah, look, 50% of that move is also right here, right at that same level. So yeah, I'd say
Mm-hmm.
right now there's probably pretty good chance that you're going to get a move down to here, which is what, 76 9-ish, 76 950. That
Mm-hmm.
looks pretty straightforward to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is looking good.
Doesn't look bad, huh? I mean, it doesn't look bad.
Nope.
I wish it would have taken out the high of the previous day, the Sunday high. It's kind of
Mm-hmm.
what I was watching here. It didn't do it. It took out this high here, which is good. Still, you still did. This is still very wicky. But
Mm-hmm.
I would have liked for it to have taken all of that out. You also would have at that point, because you have this little FVG up here.
Mm-hmm.
If it would have taken this, it would have moved up into that fair value gap as well. 50% of that is at 79,750. So
Mm-hmm.
that could have been a nice little move up there as well. I'm not going to rule that out. I think at this point, a move like this could still make
Mm-hmm.
sense. And then that move maybe takes us back down at least to the weekly open, maybe something like
Mm-hmm.
this, through Asia.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, like maybe we get something like this. And then overnight session maybe looks something like that. Maybe
Hmm.
if you're bullish. Otherwise, the breakdown. Let's see here. If this does roll over, you're gonna roll over going into Asia. I don't know. This level's still like the most interesting to me for a short is if it were to pump from
Yeah,
here
a
up
little
into
bit.
that. Maybe actually
Yeah.
during the gap, if it pumps up, works its way during the gap, and then Asia opens and sells it off, and then you get that move down. It'll depend because we
Yeah.
are running out of US time here. And a lot of times when they're going to make these big moves that grab liquidity, it is on like US Open, and you got a small liquidity grab, but you didn't take previous day high on US Open. So it's either going to take it now, I think, at the close or going into the gap. And then we'll get the continuation move to the downside after that, after Asia comes back online, something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is still like very wicky here. I'd say like it's probably worth putting a foot soldier in with a tight stop right here and just say, okay, that's like maybe that's my validation. Like this is I can see where this is a valid trade, but the fact that they leave liquidity up here is interesting to me.
Yeah.
I would say the better trade, the trade I want, involves them coming up and taking that at least. And think of the psychology also. If this thing breaks above here, breaking above Sunday's high, you're going to get a lot of breakout traders that are probably going to ape in here thinking we're going to go fill the CME gap right away. And then if that slaps down, you're going to basically place a lot of these traders offsides up here, and then you can send it lower. Maybe then it even puts in that lower low and finally takes out previous year low. So this, if it goes up here, I'm going to be paying attention because that could be the move that does that, right? That takes it down here to these fun levels.
I get that.
Did that answer your question? Like I see the setup here, but we got so close and we didn't get above that. And I'm like, man, it's still sitting there.
Yeah, no,
and then with this vector FVG over here as well was also another reason. It's like it's sitting there and it didn't come up for it.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. I see the reasoning. I still feel like they're trying to maybe try and induce longs here. But I think I do feel like it's gonna crash. But let's see.
I definitely would not be longing here. Like for me, this isn't, I'm currently like no trade. Like if I have to take a trade, it's this short here, stop above there, and then targeting here for like a scalp, right? Like if I have to take a trade, that's it. If I'm being choosy, I'm really not trading here. I'll look for a breakout to the upside as a potential false move before it goes lower. And that's probably how I'd play it. Maybe to the max I'd expect that move to go up to is up here to this 1 week rolling VWAP, which even that would actually surprise me though, because you got a big volume void here. And this is basically pushing up into value area high as well for this entire thing. So yeah, I mean, more likely this thing's rolling over. Whether it's rolling over from here, it comes back up. I mean, that's just kind of tomato. Like you got good, gooder, and goodest, if you want to think of it that way.
So I have a teeny tiny position on this one, so we'll see where that one goes. I'll be watching it and managing it very carefully. And I'm not too keen on it either because it's like, few things, like few risks. Of course, CME gap still pending, which again may or may not fill. And second, no liquidity grab. And it's doing that though, bits. Like even yesterday's trade, before the crash, I was watching. I'm like, why would you not retest that 200 EMA and give me that trade?
Well, and so look, I will tell you, like when it's conditions like this, when the market is not doing the things that we're used to it doing or it has done in the past, a lot of times I will also just kind of sit out and I'm like, okay, the market's acting out of like its usual character. I'm going to wait and I'm going to see if there's like something that's developing here. Is this the new norm almost, if you will? Like, is it not going to grab liquidity every single time anymore? So yeah, I think it's just like, there's nothing wrong with just saying, yeah, this probably looks okay. This is maybe a trade I'd normally take, but given the circumstances, given the environment, given the uncertainty, given the fact that we just had a massive move, given the fact that everyone thinks generational entries were just given, like, maybe I wait for a little bit more information, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It did hit that the first take profit that I was just talking about. So if you look at it, and hey, Ash has just joined. Let me see. So basically what I was saying is that we will hit that 50 EMA on M15.
Yeah. Touched it perfectly.
Right? Yep. And so now the question is it going to find a support here? Because really the entry short was like right here, or
the retest open almost.
Yeah, it's like right here, right? And it did have a rejection off of that monthly open, which is again, so there are multiple confluences here. You have the monthly open rejection, you have the 200 EMA rejection, and then you have 50 EMA that's super close, which,
So it was like a
sometimes
what, like a 1-to-1 at least, right?
1-to-1, yes, at
Yeah.
least 1-to-1. A
Yeah.
little, yeah, at least 1-to-1 here. So, like if you guys know, I'm not going to get into the detail of it, but the method that Bits and I have taught you, this was the entry right here, and you'll know why, right? And then of course multiple confluences. So you first take profits. If you've taken some profits here, then that's fine. Some of you are probably in it, I can tell, and I can probably name you. I'm not going because I know like this is what you guys do is you're gonna look for this kind of setup and you're gonna just go short, and it works out, and it's working out beautifully for you all. So I know some of you are in it, and that's great. So we'll see where this goes. I think it's gonna retest this one at some point. The question is whether it's gonna go above it or is it done here, because that's another thing. Also, a lot of people are calling like retail traders. My goodness, retail traders are fun because you want to hear what they're saying, because markets are always gonna do something else. Markets are not going to do what they're asking, right? So right now, they are all calling for a double bottom. This is a beautiful double bottom. So when they are seeing a double bottom here, I am seeing a neck of a head and shoulder. That's the difference.
Right.
I'm seeing that it's about to crash pretty bad, right? So they are finding their generational entries right here. It's like 74K is the area of support. This is going to hold, and maybe it will temporarily. It might. But this is bad because the liquidity wasn't taken. If it was a sharp liquidity take and then a big, reaction off of it, and we continue to make highs here, but then yeah, that would be a nice long entry at a retest of, maybe like a fair value gap or something. But as it is right now, it doesn't look bullish to me.
Yeah.
I mean, maximum it will do is maybe go up here at 800 EMA and then roll over, or markets decide that enough people have gone long here, let's just take their stops and take their liquidity and then continue to move lower. Also on weekly, there are these levels, right? So if you do trade M's and W's with us using market maker method pattern, you know that the next area is this one. This is a clear M to you. You will not be going long here. Like you just wouldn't do it, right? Because it would be scary to you. And so you could see what I'm seeing if you have taken any courses from Steve Morrow, or if you use the market maker method. This is a very clear bearish pattern. So your take profit would be here. So if you went short here, right, which was a valid entry, then your first take profit was here. And if you're still short in this one, then your second take profit is here, right? So that's what we are going to be waiting for. And then, of course, on monthly, there is a level as well that's coming up. There are some key levels coming up. This is another area of interest, right? This is a beautiful area, 65K. Also, there's it was previous resistance. So this is going to probably hold for a little bit. Maybe we could get 10, 20K off of this move to the upside, right? 10 to 20,000 points. So we'll see if that happens. But yeah, you don't want to be buying here. That would be just dangerous. Not financial advice, of course. You can do whatever you want, but I'm personally not interested in buying at this level. It's clearly a bearish move, but all the retail traders are telling you that they're buying, and that's, we'll see how this one works out for them. And also, this was a consolidation, right? So whenever you have consolidation that's weeks long and price moves out of it, there's usually a sharp, very sharp move coming off of that. And remember, I kept saying this over and over again when we were here and doing all of this, that this is not bullish. Every time somebody said we've bottomed out here, it's like, no, we are standing on one leg. You're only going to be able to stand on it for so long. So remember those things, so that when you see something like this happening in the markets, you're able to identify them as a potential risk and not get too excited like the rest of the crypto Twitter does. So just wait for a good structure. And it, if it did, like this one was pretty nice, right? This was a pretty nice move. So if it held, I mean, yeah, you could have then expected a move higher, right? Yeah. So.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we're gonna let the market, kind of prove it out to us and show us what's coming next. So I'm just waiting right now. I'm waiting. I'm doing little scalps as they come up. But not really taking any kind of big, massive, high conviction stuff.
Yeah. It's same for me. So we'll see if this 50 EMA holds. It might. We are coming to the end of the US session here very soon. So maybe we do get that crazy move to the upside and fill the gap. But yeah, like you got to take profits as you go. If you remember from my tweet on the weekend when I did go long, I was quick to secure profits. I'm like, you know what, I'm good. And then markets did turn around, and I would have
Yeah.
shorted it if it gave me a proper pattern, which it didn't. And
Right.
some of you did catch it, so that was good. But you have to just secure your bags as you go. No, not in a rush to have a forever long or a forever short here at this point. So the forever
Exactly.
short opportunity was at 116, 120, 126, which some of us did take, but we exited early because there is really no
Yeah.
forever short unless you have puts or something like that in the equities market, because these brokers will auto deleverage you or ban you from using the platform. It's happened to me multiple times. So you have to be cautious. You have to take profits and withdraw those profits very quickly too at the same time. So
Yeah.
let's see. But if it
Agreed.
does go above this could, get very interesting here. Let's see. Picking up some momentum here, bits on the
Yeah. I
long
mean,
side.
I'll be paying attention above. I think if there's a short, it's coming up above. So we'll
Hmm.
see. But if it gets good speed above here too, and you get like a 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour close above, then you could be trying to build some structure up there and then going for the CME fill.
Yeah, let's see. 1 hour. Yeah, you want 1 hour to close below this right here too, to clear all of this. But let's see. I've taken some profits already off of that 50 EMA, so there's that. This one. Okay. Yeah, this is like 50 EMA is always where you got to take some off, because a lot of times it will find support. And sometimes it would also do like a fake out support, right? So it will show you a big green candle only to kind of turn things around. And like you can't just go long because you're seeing this. Just have to be very, very patient with it. Um, and if it does close above here, then definitely will be getting out of my trade. Rejecting so far. All right, Bix, anything else that you want to cover before we wrap up?
No, I think that's it. I'm watching metals this week as well, watching equities, kind of seeing what the
Mhm.
market's doing. It seems like there's a lot of macro economic stuff going on and a bunch of FUD all over the place with everything. So
Mhm.
those
Yep.
notorious files that everyone keeps talking about got released, and there was a lot of stuff about a lot of CEOs and
Yeah.
companies in those files and stuff. So yeah, it could be it could be another crazy week or something like that. I think at times like this, you just let it shake out. You sit around, be patient.
Mhm.
Take the stuff that's clear, but other than that, not really highly
Mhm.
convicted. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this one thing, since you brought up silver, I want to make a comparison, and I've made a few comparisons with silver, and I keep studying silver, like, really go really, really way back, right? And I used to trade silver quite a bit, gold mostly, but silver as well when I was trading equities and commodities only. But basically, one thing that I really saw that was pretty interesting, and somebody brought it to my attention, was actually something that happened in 1980, and it was actually this one. So there was like a big event that happened, and that person brought this to my attention. It was actually what was it? Yeah, I think it was in March 1980. I'm gonna have to go check exactly what they said it was, but there was like a major event that happened. It was called Silver Thursday, um, and there was like a big margin call for basically Hunt Brothers. And yeah, so it was 1980, March 27, 1980. So it was like this big candle right here. And of course, silver had a very nice run, after like a consolidation phase here for so long. But it had like a Bitcoin type move for many years to the upside. And then it created a top and basically got crushed very badly after that. And it has like a 92% crash after that event, right? So price didn't, after liquidating Hunt's brothers, who were basically driving the price up, which is what we've seen right now, right? But Bitcoin, you can make kind of like a comparison that Bitcoin price has had that kind of a growth because of a lot of institutions who got involved. And so they propped up the price quite a bit maybe higher than the price should have been. But again, percentages wise, not a big deal. But silver had a pretty awesome run for a long time, and then a major correction after that incident. And so it was interesting because to me, BTC on a yearly chart, and I'm not like looking at a lower time frame, right? We are going at the highest time frame that you could possibly can, and it's like giving me that silver kind of vibe here a little bit. So being cautious, continuing to being cautious here. I can't emphasize enough on it. Hopefully we find the bottom here somewhere, but it can get ugly, especially if there's a major event that comes out of this year, right? If there's a major correction or a major bankruptcy or something like this, then, or major margin call that's historical, then you are definitely looking at some more pain, because we haven't had a huge correction after this kind of a move. So, markets, it's like way overdue for a big correction. Maybe we will never get it. Maybe we'll just continue to go up, but it would be interesting to just keep an eye on it and see what comes out of it this year. But yeah, that's what I was looking for, bits on silver chart.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
Yeah. All right. Anything else, bits, before we wrap up? We've been here for over 2 hours now. We had our deep in discussion, which was great.
It was good. Yeah, it was fun. Different energy, different part of the brain. So, but no, I think I'm all wrapped up in terms of what I'm looking at for the chart. Just waiting for BTC, get some clarity on the high time frame, looking at total crypto, stable coins, stuff like that, and just waiting for the next clear setup.
Yeah. Did you take the foot soldier for this one, the short?
Yeah, I've got a small invalidation just above where I was showing you guys, like 78,950 or something like that. So we'll see what happens. I mean, it could still come down. I'd rather position on a move higher. So that's where I'm reserving capital. But yeah, let's see what happens. So far, it's not been invalidated. So
yeah, so far so good. All right. Well, thanks everybody. I'll be watching it and managing it more closely. But it was a great show today. Thank you so much for joining. And I also encourage you to go back and check at the Deep In workshop that we had earlier today. Lots of information was shared. And I think you can take some good notes from that one. I think there are definitely some opportunities there. But yeah, thanks everybody for joining. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Thanks, Bits, for co-hosting.
Yeah, thanks again. Thanks, guys.
Okay. Thank you.